Well, hello Doomers and other Indiana Jones fans. Just wanted to make a quick video about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the new game coming out published by Bethesda from Machine Games. Sorry about the video setup. I'm working on getting a better camera, and that'll be coming soon. I'm wearing my vintage Temple of Doom fedora that my wife got me for Christmas 2 years ago. She was afraid I was never going to wear it again because I got the Herbert Johnson, but nope, honey. I love this hat and I will always wear it. So let's take a look at the official gameplay reveal, and I will just talk about it. So yep, it's going to be an Xbox exclusive. Sorry, PlayStation people. Xbox bought Bethesda, so they get everything. First, I don't know if there'll be plans to do a cross-platform release. It'll probably be on PC. So it looks like this new game is going to take place in 1937. It's going to be in between Raiders and Last Crusade. So of course, the thing that all the indie cosplayers are all up in arms about, myself included, is why is Indy's bag on the outside of his jacket? Oh, and there he is. Todd Howard. Anybody that's played Fallout or Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, you know Todd the man. And he looks like the only Gen Xer in the room. All these other people look like children. They look like the first indie movie they saw in the theaters was Crystal Skull. Todd's gonna have to really bring the old school Gen X hammer down. Make sure these kids respect. Come on, Todd, give them hell. Seems like a lot of the ideas about the game were his. Okay, so here's the game trailer. Looks really great. Of course, the villains are the, what can we say? The bad Germans from the World War II era. I think we can say that. We can get away with that. I'm like, okay. Again, I mean, 5 Indiana Jones movies, you got the bad Germans 3 times. Countless Indiana Jones games, almost every single one, the bad guys are the bad Germans. I'm a little bored of it now, to be honest with you. There you go. Bag on the outside of the jacket. I don't get it. The only thing I can think of is that developers probably got assets from Dial of Destiny to work from, since that's the most recent and they've got all the recent scans and everything, and it's probably all in the highest resolution. They gave them that to work with. So one of the things I hear people complain about is that this game is in first person for the most part, and I'm like, why? That's awesome. Don't think we need another Tomb Raider clone after all this time. I think a new approach would be welcome. To be honest with you, after Tomb Raider and Infernal Machine and Emperor's Tomb and then playing all the Uncharted games, I am a little tired of that type of gameplay. I know when I play those games, I always get frustrated because I'm never seem to be in the right place to make the jump, to grab the little ledge, to shimmy over. And a lot of times I find those games more frustrating than fun. This looks fun. Got the whip. The voice acting, fantastic. They've always had a voice actor in the past that kind of had Harrison Ford's qualities without really sounding like him. This is the first time where I was like, wait a second, did they use AI to do that? To do the voice? And then I realized, no, they have an actor, and it turns out it's Troy Baker, who is like awesome. I mean, if you've played The Last of Us, you know how good and talented this guy is, and I can't believe he does such a great Harrison Ford impersonation. Yeah, I love that. That's a very indie moment right there. That's great. And Troy Baker delivered that line very Harrison Ford-like. So now these very young people are going to talk about how much they love Indiana Jones and how they grew up watching him on Blu-ray when they were small children. Oh boy, I'm old. But yeah, this developer team, they are the ones that did the Wolfenstein games that Bethesda also published. And yeah, look, that looks, I'm guessing that's, what's with that teardrop? I'm guessing that's Dial of Destiny stuff, and that explains why the bag's on the outside. And you know, I was fine with the bag being on the outside after Crusade, because of course, you know, Indy had his thing with the tank, and yeah, it shows like a character thing. It's like he learned, okay, I can't have this bag under my jacket because I could get stuck. So then he wears it on the outside. Totally makes sense. This game takes place before Crusade though, so that doesn't make sense. Especially trying to recreate the Raiders pose. It's like, he definitely didn't have the bag over his jacket then. I know these are very cosplay things, but that's mainly what we talk about around here. I'm not a video game expert. I can't talk about frames per second. I could talk about Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones stuff. I like this bit here, this like break into the museum at Marshall College. That seems like something that was, something similar to that was in Frank Darabont's script for Indy 4, and I'm wondering if that's where they got the inspiration for that from. Oh, we gotta have the red line. We have to have the Indy elements. They seem to be pretty good. Okay, the hat looks good there. No teardrop. Oh, there we go. Roma. And there's Axel. So it looks like there are going to be the puzzles that y'all want, where you're flipping the switch and doing the thing and lining up the thing with the thing while the thing's turning. Stuff that you wonder, like, who actually took the time to make this? If you're playing the game, I'm always like, who would have done this? But people, I think the public has it in their head that that's what Indiana Jones is. And you see, that to me is something that kind of came later on. Like in Raiders, the closest you have to that is like the map room. In Temple of Doom, you don't really have that. And then it's more like in Last Crusade, where you start having the matching the thing up with the thing and stepping on the thing to get the thing. And you have the library scene, and then you have the Grail Temple at the end, and it gets kind of puzzly like that. And I think the Tomb Raider games kind of ran with that and expanded on it. And then, so when Indy comes back with Infernal Machine, yeah, it's all that. You really don't get that kind of video gamey puzzle until Crystal Skull, when they're trying to get into that temple at the end, and they're busting the blocks and the sand's coming out, and et cetera, et cetera. And then again in Dial of Destiny with the water puzzle, and it's like, okay, this seems like Tomb Raider. And some of those puzzles in Infernal Machine were infernal. But I would get frustrated with those a lot too. And same thing in Uncharted. I always couldn't wait to get past those parts and get back to shooting guys. I like that they have a new love interest for Indy that's not Marion Ravenwood. I thought they'd try to find some way to squeeze her into this too, even though it didn't make sense with the timeline. But kudos, they came up with a new character. So something different. I like that. I'm always about different. I really get bored of seeing the same things over and over again. I know the general public likes it. They like to get the same stuff regurgitated to them. I don't like it. I want to see something new. We'll see about this guy. He's got some serious Voller vibes. And, this game was developing before Dial of Destiny came out. These guys probably didn't know. But my impression of this guy is he's like Voller. But we'll see. We'll find out. This part was great. He headbutts him. I don't think they're going to show that here, but it's a pretty good indie moment. The whip stuff is incredible. I'm really impressed with that. The whip effects, and see, this is good stuff. I'm about it. Look at that. Look at how they modeled this thing, and yeah, they use motion capture. That's great. I love it. Looking forward to it. That's awesome. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, because Indy should be in there whipping and punching guys instead of just like blasting away with a machine gun or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there'll be plenty of gunplay too, but that kind of thing to me is not really Indy. Just like Indy's like his fists, his whip, his wits. That's very nice. I like that. That looks great. So here you go. This is like an Indiana Jones moment. He's got a thing. He realizes, he did screwed something up, and everything's going to go to heck, and he better get the heck out of there. That's Indiana Jones in a nutshell. So those are my initial thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm really looking forward to it. I like the idea of a first-person perspective game with some third-person thrown in, but tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? What do you want out of this game? It's coming out soon, so I wish you all much fortune and glory.